We'll just go live. Oh, sorry, you just put a nicotine gum in. Oh,
I have just started chewing. I thought we had minutes.
Sorry.
Nah, we're live, Dad. This is how we do that. We're so cool. We
roll.
Live.
Can't even be asked with fucking theme tunes anymore.
Yeah, well, you've let the standards slip, haven't you? No theme tunes. I mean, you should have really some kind of really downbeat, miserable theme tune that we use for sad occasions.
Do you want me to do it?
Well,
I can
make
write
one
the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
But look, welcome to the midweek. Welcome to the midweek waffle. It's a live show, live debate show. We've got a couple of topics we're going to talk about. We're going to get your input as well. We are going to touch on, before we go anywhere else, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, probably watch Hammer's Chat, and you're familiar with Gonzo, and you will have seen the shows that he's done just recently. I mean, we touched on the shares, you know, the fact that we're going out there trying to find another investor. Kretinsky and Sullivan are hammering down their shares to 25% so that we can go out and find an equal 25% investor. Why is that happening? Well, I don't know. We think it all feeds in to the other thing that Gonzo's spoken about as well. And this isn't really... I think what Gonzo's doing is putting two and two together. He's got lots of information, and this is his opinion. But from my angle, I think he's got a point, don't you, Gary? Before we go on to talk about it,
let's get rid of that nicotine gum. Yes, I do think he's got a point.
I think he's got a point.
Yeah. So it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Everything adds up. Now, at the moment, it is just a conspiracy theory. Let's make that clear. But it's based on one or two little observations, and also the likely outcome for the stadium that we're currently in, because we're not going to play there at a loss to the London Mayor forever. That's not going to.
No.
Well, it's at a loss to London Mayor, and who funds the London Mayor? It's the government. The government fund it essentially, right? So all of his money comes from the government. Yeah. So new government, new problem.
So what's driving this at the moment? Because as we know, the London Stadium is in disrepair. It's falling to fucking pieces. It needs work done to it. It does. It was never meant to be used for this long. It was only done. It was done for the Olympics. And we know that West Ham have got an amazing deal on the. It's daylight robbery. We've got an amazing deal on the rent. We're encouraged the taxpayer is footing the bill 100%. That is the case. That isn't our fault. That was a deal that was struck by Karen Brady and Boris Johnson. But we know that there's fractured relationships between the LLDC and West Ham. They're not getting on. We know that there's a lease agreement. We know that I think the concern has got to be, I know that these leases are people are saying they're watertight and everything else. There is nothing that you can do to get out of them. But you would imagine that they're going to be exploring options to get out of this. And I think there's a really small window of opportunity now for West Ham to buy the stadium. I think that they're going to have to buy it sooner rather than later, because they're not going to be able to go on like this forever. It won't happen. They won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
So it's either buy the stadium or or risk losing it and being fucking kicked out if they can do something, iffy with the leases. I don't know. We haven't seen the legal paperwork. We don't know. We don't know how watertight it is. Apparently, it is fucking watertight. Brady's done an amazing job on it.
I think if it wasn't watertight, something would have happened already, right? It's very clear as well that every disagreement ends up in a well, not necessarily a courtroom, but legal. In some sort of lawsuit, and it ends up being a standoff between our board and the LLDC. And I think you got to bear in mind, I don't want to turn this into a political show in any way whatsoever, but you got to bear in mind the political climate, right? This was a Tory deal. It was delivered with Karen Brady by Boris Johnson when he was still mayor, right? She then become, a Tory peer. Lady Brady sits in the House of Lords occasionally, doesn't she? When she's not doing her half day a week for us. I think that's what she works, isn't it? And so that's all going to change. That cozy little arrangement really suits the Tories at the moment, because the money, they strangle Sadiq Khan as much as they can so that he can't deliver. right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, at the last mayoral election, they didn't give him enough funding so that he could fix a bridge on the Thames. And so if traffic snarled up everywhere, they wouldn't give him the money to fix it until he'd won the next election. So they kind of engineered that problem. So what they're doing at the moment is they're basically put an anchor on his P&L, on his budget, which is the London Stadium. As soon as a more sympathetic Labour government gets in, which I assume they will, that drag anchor is going to be removed somehow.
Yeah, well, again, it's going to be, but the fact will remain. It will still be running at a massive loss. That's going to have to be funded by the taxpayer. So that's not going to go away.
What I'm saying is there's no motivation to fix it at the moment. There will be a motivation to fix it when Labour want to help out Sadiq Khan and get rid of that drag on his P&L, right?
Yeah.
So they'll start looking at what I'd describe as nuclear options. And the one nuclear option that I've heard mentioned several times over the last couple of years has been basically putting the holding company into receivership, right? Just basically putting it out of business because it's operating at a loss already.
What does that do to the lease? Because we've mentioned this before on other shows, and somebody came back with a really detailed. The guy clearly knew what he was talking about. He came back with a really detailed reply as to, regardless whether or not that happens.
Well, it depends specifically on the contract, and as nobody's seen it, you don't know what happens in those kind of if those kind of conditions are met. Say the contract is between West Ham United holding whatever company and between the holding company of the LLDC. There is a certain entity under the LLDC that holds that contract and manages the stadium. That's my understanding. Now, it's obviously the parent company is the LLDC and ultimately the mayor's office. But what would happen if one of those, if the contract holding entity was folded? I don't know what the ramification that would be, whether the contract says it would be inherited by the parent company together with its obligations and losses and everything else, or whether there is a way to just
surely the stadium would just be sold off, but the lease would still be intact. Well, so they would have to sell the stadium off. They'd have to because they wouldn't own the stadium anymore. But they'd be selling it with West Ham as a 95-year tenant.
If it goes into receivership,
that's my thing with it. How can anyone buy that stadium, or who's going to want to buy that stadium when we've got that lease for like the 95 years?
Yeah.
Like for me, like on this subject, I just can't see. I don't think we're going to be moving anytime. I don't. I think that the deal's too good, what we've got now. And I know you look at it differently because of the, what do you call it? Like the work, like location of it and all that stuff, that it'd just be worth a fortune if they built houses.
But I think this is where it's going. And personally for me, if this is how it materializes. So look, let me give you what is a conspiracy theory, right? And that is Sullivan saw a massive opportunity when London was awarded the Olympics. He always had one eye on that stadium. He tried to do the same in Birmingham. So this was always his intention to do that, and that was to basically, it was one fucking big property deal. That's all it was, and that was to move to a free, negotiate a really good deal, which we have done in that Olympic Stadium. Sell Upton Park and the land it was on. As if that weren't bad enough, we're still in East London. But with a view to, whether or not they could think that far ahead or not, I don't know. But the fact is, I don't think you've got to be a genius. Most of these stadiums that get left over after these events end up fucking white elephants. They do, and that stadium was occupying very, very lucrative land that was being mass developed. So it was always going to be worth a fucking shit ton. So I think it was always a long-term double fucking property deal. I personally do think that. I think that the plan. This is what Gonzo is alluding to, and this is what I think it is. It's like the big con. So get us to the Olympic Stadium, sell Upton Park temporarily, mind, because then they're going to fuck us off out of there, and they're going to buy that for peanuts. They'll fuck us off out of Stratford, and they'll sell that for an absolute fortune. An absolute fortune. Hello, Thumb. So it'll be like a double deal,
But how much would it cost them to build another stadium?
Well, mate, that land, that land that the stadium is on is worth billions.
Yeah.
Not millions, billions. You think of the amount of fucking 2-bedroom flats that you could fit there. You're looking at about 700 grand for a 2-bedroom flat round there. That the land that stadium is on is billions. The average, depending on where you build, and this is why they're talking about Thames Freeport fucking us off out to the arse end of Essex, over by the Dartford crossing, right? That'd cost what, 500 million to build a stadium there. That's all it'd cost. And then all of a sudden we're out of East London. We'd never be coming back. And that is when Sullivan would probably wash his hands of it. And that is why I think that Sullivan and Kretinsky don't want to walk away from West Ham, because they can see what's happening. It's all to do with the property deal. That's why they want another investor to come in who's got the money in the capital that could help maybe purchase a deal and partner with them to redevelop the land or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is why
I completely agree with you. Sorry, I'm having internet problems because the fucking thing's connected to Wi-Fi. I need it to connect to the hardwire. I don't know what's going on here, but anyway, I'll go off in a minute because I'm going to turn Wi-Fi off. Sorry, Mickey, you finish what you were saying. Let me do this now.
All right. No, I was just saying about when I want to watch that video, and Gio was saying, and it was true, about he hasn't got that affinity with East London, right? So he don't see it as like, it's not a major factor for him. And I understand that. But for me, it's a big thing. I love being an East London club because I ain't a patriotic person. I ain't like, England and all that stuff. I'm not like that. But I'm very proud of being born and raised in East London. I am. And then that club to be taken out, even if it is Essex, but to be taken out of East London,
I can't move it.
I'll be gutted because I love the fact of West Ham being an East London club. I love that.
They can't move it, right? That's our fucking heritage. It's one thing they've moved us from Upton Park. They've stripped that part of our soul out. They've put in a boring bastard who's managing us now. There's the fucking killing my love of football, just watching the game. That's another thing that they're killing. They put London on the badge, which is all about fucking commercialising the club to attract buyers in, to sell the fucking thing. And if they move us out to Essex, it won't be West Ham anymore. It will not be West Ham anymore. It will be a new club. The only thing that will remain will be the fucking club colours and the name. It will be a completely different club. I know most of the fans live out in Essex now. I know that. But the fact remains, like you just said, we're an East London club. It's all about our heritage. We're not a fucking... people move out to Essex. You don't go and start supporting Billericay, do you? You still support West Ham. That's your club.
You don't. But I just want to say this, John. Sorry, it might have been me who said that. I didn't mean that. Gio, if you look at, he'll explain it better than I just did. He didn't say it don't bother him, but he hasn't got that connection. He was
making a point, John, that legacy fans like us potentially. Which is makes up maybe a smaller percentage of the fan base now. We're the only ones that have got connection to West Ham and East London. So a lot of the new fans that are coming in, they may not have that same connection. They may not care as much, Yeah, he wasn't. Gio wasn't saying that he didn't care. He was saying that he doesn't want us moving out of East London. But he was making a point.
Connection, was he? Like he said about his dad, who's also Scottish. Right. He was the first West Ham supporter, and that's how he got his. He hasn't got that connection on a personal level with East London. So I'll probably explain that wrong, Joe.
That would be it for me. And I do think that they're bang on with what they're doing with the training ground, moving it up to fucking Basildon.
Well, yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think that's the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, but no, but that's the start of it, Gary. That ain't just that's deep in fucking Essex.
Listen, I agree, but that is exactly what the likes of Leicester have done. They've just bought, really cheap land locally, right? And they've built a state-of-the-art complex.
But that's local
space.
To Leicester.
You need space.
Yeah,
right?
No, I know,
space.
But there's
Basildon's only 30 miles down the road, 25 miles down the road. Well, not even that. It's about 20 miles, right, from where I am in Romford.
So what about but then again you could say the same about Freeport, the new site, moving.
No, that's different. From there. That's different, right? Most players live in Essex anyway, so going to Basildon to train is probably more convenient than going to Chapel Heath or to the other place, right? Training ground, I think facilities are more important than location. As long as it's inside the M25, that's effectively London, right? Sort of thing. Now, the thing I'm really concerned about, and this is where my conspiracy theory takes off, is that they were very, very loyal to the Thames Iron Works in terms of it's there on the badge, TIW, and London as well. And I got what Gonzo was saying. He was saying that will be our London legacy when they move us up to Grays, to prove that we're still a London side. Grays, that Freeport is right on the Thames, probably a couple of miles up from the Thames Iron Works, factory, whatever it was. I don't know exactly how long. Nigel would know. But that is, that is the Thames runs into London. It'll have London on the badge. We'll have Thames Iron Works linking it to the former shipbuilding works just around the corner. So that is what I suppose they're going to play on if they do this. So they'll they'll build up that tentative story, right?
It will work because it happened. Yeah, but it will work because it happened when I moved this from Upton Park. The majority of fans bought it. They'd buy it again. We buy all the PR shit because I think by that point, most of us are sick of this fucking stadium now anyway. We are. But I'm not sick of being in Stratford. We're still in East London. The location's fine. It's the fucking middle of everything. You've got multiple transport links. It's absolutely perfect for a big multi-seater stadium. You go out to somewhere like that, you're going to have one fucking train station. One. That's all you're going to have.
I agree with you. I agree with you, right? There's no way West Ham United should be moving out of East London in any way, shape, or form. I have thought about this before. I've actually put quite a lot of thought into it, actually. And every time it's come up with the same result, it's like, no. To me, this feels like moving fucking Wimbledon up to Milton Keynes.
It's exactly that. We would no longer be the same club. We've already lost part of our identity. We have. We can't say we haven't. We have.
Yeah.
If they moved us out of East London, that's it. It's a different club.
I'll tell you what, Ryan has got. This is why the Tories are all important in this. Ryan said here, going to Tilbury is a government play to prop up a dying part of Essex, to actually shine a light on their shiny new Freeport and basically put it down as a massive achievement that a big tenant like West Ham United are going to move into that area and bring, regular fans, businesses, employment, all that sort of stuff to that fucking marshland, which is what it is at the moment, right? That is the last Tory favour they're going to get. It will happen.
Can we move away from politics, please?
Yeah. But there is no way to move away from politics on this, right? Because it's all about timing, Nick, and when these things will happen. And that's why it's likely that we move there because of politics.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah. But it is.
You would say that, Andy.
It is fucking ridiculous. Honestly, I just don't agree with it at all. I do think it's starting to feel like this has always been part of the plan. It is starting to feel like we have been really more fucked over than what we even dreamed. Because if this was always the plan from Sullivan, this makes him the biggest fucking villain known to man, as far as I'm concerned. It really does. It makes him the biggest villain. Fuck the Tories, fuck everyone else. This is Sullivan, that little bastard's plan. This has been hatched by him, and he's got Brady who's facilitating all of this because of connections politically. But this is all being engineered by that little bastard who has gutted this club and wants to move us out to the arse end of fucking nowhere. And it's just torture.
This could actually be a long play that was engineered all the way through to happen like this. And that is the thing. If that is the case, it makes us all look like complete cunts, right? They've played us beautifully, right?
Massively.
All for a profit, and now there's no way they only got 40 million for Upton Park. I don't care what anyone says.
Not a chance,
right? So they earn out of that big time. Now they're going to earn out of this big time as well. That's why they're making space for a Qatari investor, because I guess maybe a three-way split of the in terms of the money they'd need to buy the stadium. I just think that time. I hope that time's just going to run out. That clock's just going to run out.
Think about it. What other reason would there be for that little fucking egomaniac David Sullivan to be hammering down his shares to 25% so that he is no longer the major shareholder? He's inviting someone in. He's inviting a big money man in. That's what he's doing. This is about more than football now, isn't it?
Well, it means that they're inviting another 25% shareholder. So it means rather than him paying 37%, so say they all have to contribute, all the shareholders have to contribute. He's going to contribute the same as Kretinsky and the same as a new investor.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they'll have money coming in terms of whoever buys those shares for that 25%. By the way, Kretinsky's always... Why is my camera suddenly blurry since I did this?
Well, I was just about to say to you, you steaming up in there because
I'm not.
Getting fainter and fainter.
I don't know what's going on.
It's fine. It's fine. We can see you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm having technical issues, and this is... I should have checked before.
Yeah, I see. Look, I thought it was the same thing. I was going to say, is it steaming up?
Yeah.
Look, it was steaming up.
No, it's perfectly. Nothing's changed in here. It's just what's since I rebooted everything, it's all gone tits up.
But yeah, I think for me, I think you can look. Listen, the political side of it, it's all been a joke. We know that, but the main villain in all of this is Sullivan. This has all been orchestrated by him. It's been facilitated by other people and by dodgy bastards who have allowed it all to happen. But what I will say is, surely the West Ham fan base would unite against any move against Thames Freeport. They wouldn't be able to put together a nice flashy video like you just said, linking us to the Thames Ironworks, going back home. People wouldn't swallow it, would they? They wouldn't swallow the CGIs. You wouldn't get a section of fans buying that now. Surely we would fucking protest now and say fucking no.
I think after the Upton Park move, I think now people are clocked on because we was sold that dream, definitely.
Yeah.
And people definitely are wise to that now. So I think if they try to move us out to Essex, I think that they'll be fucking uproar. I think. I'd like to think there would be anyway.
Of course there would be. Of course there would be, Micky, because there ain't enough new supporters for there not to be uproar, right? But this would come from not only the people who don't want to move to Essex in the stadium at the moment. The uproar would also come from the original fans who realise what a fucking big game this has been, right? Yeah. Everyone is going to feel fucking wounded on this. I mean, severely wounded if this happens. And so they ain't seen the kind of shit they're going to get. This ain't going to be like moving down the road to Stratford, which a lot of people tolerated because it was nearer our original home, etc., etc., etc. They did that bullshit fucking survey to check that we were all on board with it, where you had a set of multiple choice questions, and 3 out of the 4 were positive answers. Only one was a negative answer, and the negative answer was basically along the lines of, do you not want West Ham to play in Europe? That sort of thing, right? So they will try that again, but we must be wise to it this time. And this is where Nigel's going to come in very handy, because this time I think, this is the big one. This is the big one that everyone is going to get behind. I mean, literally, apart from maybe a handful of new fans, everybody's going to be behind it. And this is going to be a huge campaign, a huge protest.
Is there any way, Gary, that it could be framed in such a way whereby there would be nothing to protest? I.e., we're being evicted. There's nothing we can do. We've got to find a new home. It could be framed in that way. I don't know what you're protesting for. Nothing you can do. The lease is gone. We're not allowed to play in there anymore. We've got to build a new stadium. Tough shit.
Look upon it another way, and again, not wanting to go back to politics, but look upon it another way. This could be framed as, we've got no choice, we're being booted out. What do you want us to do, right? If suddenly that situation becomes very, really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I like a bandy bar.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's it would be the most scummy thing that I think has ever been done in to any club. I don't think. I know we've seen clubs run into the ground, run badly, gone bankrupt and shit like this. But this fucking deception. First of all, the deception getting us into this stadium in the first place with all the lies. Yeah. That was bad enough. But this would be something else as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
That's better, Gal.
Sorry, that's just me reseating my camera. Hang on.
No, I like it. Leave it like that.
That's good. Yeah.
It'll come back in a sec.
One of Gary's many new webcams.
It's still blurry.
Leave it. Just ignore it. We can see you. Just ignore it.
It's driving me nuts. Right.
But yeah, I don't know with this. I mean, if there has to be something that we can do. I do hope and pray that is something that the West Ham fan base would unite behind. I mean, we don't unite behind anything. We don't. We're divided. We're a divided fan base over fucking everything. But I would hope that would be the tipping point, and everyone would unite and go, no, do you know what? That's it. That's enough.
But do you know what though? You say that, and I'd like to think that, but I can honestly see another side of people going, yeah, but we're going to finally get a football stadium. It's what we want.
What I'm saying,
there will be some. How big that noise is going to be, I don't know.
Mate, you'd have the Muppets that would be buying into the CGIs again and buying into the all the fake nonsense that they'd be peddling.
Yeah,
because it would all be about going to the next level. If we go to this stadium, we'll be making more money, generating more money. This will take us to the next level. We need to do this. I'll tell you what it is. We need to do this now because at the London Stadium, we don't get any money from food and beverage or anything like that. You know, we're restricted. There's nothing we can do. If we want to go to the next level, you've got to go to a stadium where we run everything. And you think, well, you fucking wankers, that's what we had.
Yeah,
but that's what I was saying to you before, that you'd hope now, you know, fool me once and then fool me twice sort of thing. But because we know that we was sold that dream, you'd like to think that the majority of West Ham fans, look, including myself, I was sold that dream. Look, I wanted the move. I loved Upton Park, but I agreed with the move because what they were peddling. Do you know,
you want to see us grow.
So I bought into that. So now you'd like to think that if they try to sell you a dream again, if they try to sell you like ice to an Eskimo sort of thing, then you'd like to think, hold on a minute, we don't.
Mickey, to be fair, what we were sold looked fucking good. The CGIs looked amazing. The stadium looked unfucking believable. We'd all just watched the best Olympics in history in that stadium, where that was the main centrepiece. We saw all of this retractable seating. The images that we saw was these steep banks of fucking fans, which was obviously bollocks because you can't have that in that stadium because of the rake. All close to the pitch. There was no gaps.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We bought into that. So you'd like to think
we bought into what they were selling. That what they were selling us was a lie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you. Hopefully they're clued up now. So the next time, if they try to do that again and they bought, you know, they do another advert and make the stadium look fucking amazing, you like to think we go, hold on a minute, you done this to us fucking last time. Not again, mate. We're not having that. Yeah. That's what you like to think of that, man.
There will be wankers out there, just like there are wankers out there who turn on you when you say the slightest negative thing about Moyes. And I think a lot of those wankers on social media, some of them, the instigators, are the cheerleaders, are actually working for the club. And I think they'd be working for the club when it comes to
they would
that
be
as well, right? There'd be a lot of it.
There would be, yeah. And I don't think it's that easy to divide our fan base. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. And that's where our channel, Hammers Chat, West Ham Fan TV, you know, we should be unified on this. I would think we'd be unified on it, right? There's no way I can see, you know, Nicky and Ryan and people like that over on Fan TV getting behind this. And Gonzo and Gio have already said, I mean, West Ham is East London. East London is West Ham. You cannot take West Ham out of East London.
No.
If you do that, you're the most evil piece of shit, right? And we cannot let them get away with it. We've really got to kick off about this and do planned, big, large-scale, fucking multi-channel planned protests.
I mean, look, there is something else to be said, right?
Yeah.
Say, for instance, they're not going to move us out of East London, which I don't think that's going to be. I think if they do this, if they build a new stadium, they will build on cheap land because the land where we are is worth a lot of money. So that's what I think that they'll do. But if they was to say, for instance, knock that stadium down and build a smaller, build a football stadium on the site in Stratford, that would be fine. I wouldn't care. That's fine. Wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Providing the location remains the same, that would actually be all right. I mean, that's probably the best scenario. But why would you do that? Why would you spend all that money to buy that stadium, to knock it down? Because I'm assuming that the people that would be coming in wouldn't be football purists. They'd be coming in for a property grab, surely. That's what they'd be coming in for.
I don't think any owners football purists no more. How can they be?
But they'd be coming in for the land. I think the stadium is the golden egg, Gary, isn't it? Oh, Gary's gone.
Frozen.
He's frozen.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I back?
Gary's having a nightmare.
You're a bit echoey.
Yeah, I'm
in the
having,
toilet.
I'm having a bit of. Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me, right? Because I'm having massive technical problems today. Let me get me back. Right, that's it. The mic's back.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. No, look, I would tolerate anywhere in East London, and I would count as part of East London, even though it ain't. I would count Dagenham, I would count Romford, I would count all of these places in East London. They are now, right? But yeah, going out to the arse end of nowhere on a fucking marshland out in Grays, no, I'm not having that at all.
And that isn't. Look, we haven't got anything. I've got nothing against Rainham and fucking Rainham, Dave. I've got nothing against Rainham or Grays or anything like that. But that area is literally what you just said, Gary. It's fucking marshland. There's nothing there.
Yeah, Rainham and Grays are two different places. Rainham's just the other side of Dagenham. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Grays, Thurrock, Lakeside, around there, right?
That's not even the point, though. Like, to be fair to you, there's probably more West Ham supporters in Romford and Hornchurch than in East London. But that's not the point.
It's not the point.
We're East London. We're an East London club. I want to stay in East London. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Even if, like I said to you, the majority are in Essex, to be fair, it's not an Essex club. And I wouldn't want that.
I'll tell you what, if they're gonna move us to fucking if they're gonna move us there to Freeport, they might as well move us to fucking Scotland.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, because you're literally completely taking, football. London itself. You look at the amount of clubs that are in London, and the history and the legacy of these clubs. It's all kind of intricately tied into their surrounding area and their communities. We've already been taken out of our community, taken out of our postcode and given a fucking new one that didn't exist before. So that's where we are now.
What's this geezer saying here? Huge one. What's the matter with you guys? Stratford is our home now. Have you listened to any of this conversation, mate?
You're not listening to it, mate, at all. We're saying we don't want.
We're not saying we want to fucking
Essex.
go. We're saying the opposite.
Huge one or little one has just tuned in at the wrong time. We're saying we don't want to leave.
Huge fuck up, mate, because you've just literally, I don't even know what that's about, to be fair.
I don't know.
You've took the right,
Yeah.
I don't know where you got that from. You've had a nightmare, you huge one.
You have.
Son.
But yeah, no, it is frustrating and it is worrying and it is harrowing, the thought of it. Jaywick is cheap. I struggle to. I tell you, you'd be able to rent your caravan out, girl. If
I ain't down there. I ain't down there. I'm in Harwich, Dovercourt. Completely different place.
Yeah, of course you are. Yeah. But it's harrowing to think that could actually be. Imagine if that this was the plan. I don't see how. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to make any threats or anything like that. But surely that is a type of deceit that would make it a very dangerous place. East London for Sullivan and his family to coexist in, because that is like the ultimate fucking betrayal, isn't it?
So much so, yeah.
It's like the ultimate betrayal. That is,
yeah. It's terrible. I couldn't imagine.
Basically, making a new club. It really is. I wonder if we did move, they'd have like West Ham, Essex.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't.
London.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But look, anyway. So what's your verdict, Micky, on this story? Do you believe it? Well, first, it's not. Do you believe it? Why else would we be looking for a 25% shareholder? Why would Sullivan be knocking down his shares if there was nothing going on?
Look, here's my take on it, and it's not really a great take because what we do on YouTube. But for me, I'm not going to give it another thought or worry about it until there's actual movement. I don't think it's worth worrying about it. I know some people are. Obviously won't say names, but I know people are. But it really ain't worth it for me because me personally, I can't see us moving. I really can't. I think that lease is stuck in stone. I think the only way that is, and someone brought this up in the chat, they could say about health and safety wise for the stadium, so we have to move. That's the only way I can see them possibly doing it. But I just don't think we will. I think that we'll stay where we are. Personally, that's my take on it.
I think the only ones that can tear that lease up are West Ham by buying the stadium and tearing the lease up and doing what they want with the stadium. They're the only ones that can do it.
Okay,
But go on, Gal. What's your
I'm
overarching
all clear
thoughts
again.
on this?
I'm all clear again. Look, I'm clear.
That's it. So go on,
Yeah,
give your closing thoughts on this. What do you reckon?
I hope we don't move. I'm sort of used to the stadium. The beautiful dream would be to build a new for investors to come in. If you consider the footprint of the Tottenham and the Arsenal stadiums, they're really small, right? Compared to ours, that is huge. I used to run 10Ks around there. That footprint of that stadium, all the surrounded land, is huge. And what you could do quite easily is build a Spurs style stadium over in the corner of that land, and you could just completely demolish that and take the rest of it. However, that is going to be, the footprint for that stadium, bearing in mind where that land is for even for a new stadium, is going to be cost a fortune, right? So I think it's stay in Stratford or no. That's it. That's the only option. You've got to stay where we are.
Would you be surprised if this was a plan?
No,
I
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be, because I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. They are con artists. They conned us into this stadium, as we said earlier. They're grifters, massive grifters, right? They sold us a lie. They actually did sell us a lie. We didn't sign up for this shit. It's all right now. It's acceptable, that stadium, to a point, right? Where I sit, especially, it's great, right? What it was like for the first 3 or 4 years when we moved in there, it was fucking rubbish.
Yeah.
That wasn't what we were sold, and it was nothing like, if you remember the simulation, when all the artist impressions and stuff like
CGIs,
that. Yeah. That was of a no, just the artist impressions. They were like of an oval stadium, close to the pitch. Yeah, the CGIs were when we went up to look at our seat, the view from our seats, right?
Yeah,
yeah, horrible.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, as Micky says, there is nothing we can do about it now. It is a worry, because you can't not be worried about it, really, with that little bastard in charge. I think. Do you think there's any chance of Sullivan, if we can't find a 25% buyer, and say for instance one of the Qataris wants to buy the club, do you think that Krasinski or Sullivan would sell their 25%, or do you think Sullivan does want to hang around? I think he wants to hang around, doesn't he?
Listen, I think when Sullivan leaves the club, he doesn't give a fuck what happens to it. He proved that with Birmingham. Brady as well. They were both released on charges of potential fraud over that deal in selling to the dodgy fucker they sold it to, right?
Yeah.
He wants to get out for a maximum return. I don't think he's got any love for this club whatsoever. None at all. I think his only ambition every year, and that's why Moyes is so attractive, is to stay in the Premier League, because whatever they've got in the pipeline without being in the Premier League, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's why we're boring.
How about that?
What's this?
London Stadium is designed as a temporary structure. What happens with building plans? Just a question, lads.
Well, the upper tiers, all the temporary structure. You're right, Black Country. It should have come down. It was supposed to be an athletic stadium, yeah.
Even that roof. I mean, that sort of plastic corrugated shit roof that they put on.
Yeah. That was terrible thing anyway. Like, that weren't forward planning. That was never going to stay an athletic stadium. How could it be? No. It was fucking stupid.
That was Sebastian Coe's fucking stupid fault in insisting on an athletics legacy. Honestly, you're never going to fill a stadium like that unless it is like the World Championships or the Olympics. You never fill a stadium, even the size they were going to reduce it to for athletics.
Never.
I was involved in the development around there, the East Village, the Athletes Village and the surrounding areas, and the fucking mad rush to get that completed for the games. The corners that were cut with the with the developments themselves to get them ready. It's fucking horrendous, honestly.
Yeah.
What they did to it's really bad. How some of those buildings got sign off, I don't know, and you can only imagine that some of these structures that look good from the outside, what they're probably like inside, they're probably not going to be structurally sound. That stadium, that structure in particular was not developed and designed to be
Of course,
standing for fucking 95 years to 100 years. It was not. It was not
No,
designed for that.
Same as the Millennium Dome, which for some reason was fucking, it's now the London Eye. For some reason, had a roof on it that was supposed to last 10 years or something. Absolutely ridiculous. I think Scott C hit the nail on the head there just now, where he said Sullivan likes peddling a false narrative. And this is why I fucking hate, I do not trust him at all, because it's his default mode. It's his default mode to use the press to spin his narrative, right? So whatever happens, I don't fucking believe. I don't believe a word they say. They're all con artists, right? A lot of them.
So the thing is, I don't know, because all this. I don't know, because this story isn't going to make us any happier with that stadium. It's not. The problems with the stadium are still going to be there. This is just going to piss the fan base off. That if anything, the club should be coming out and they should be saying this is nonsense, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
There's enough stories out there now. There should be a club spokesman coming out and saying we are not moving from Stratford. Don't worry, it's not going to happen.
There's always a reason for putting these stories out there in the media.
I think I'd be more worried if he did come out and say that, because usually when he comes out and says that, there's usually an element of truth in it.
It's not going to back the manager, isn't it?
But we also know, to be fair to you, that's why I'm not overly concerned about it yet. I've got to wait to see more movement on this, because he's got previous for this David Sullivan, not just like this move, but everything. So that's why I'm not really concerned about it, to be fair to you.
I think even the most tame West Ham supporter, apart from the ones who are fucking idiots and doing it on behalf of the club, right? I think that even the tamest of West Ham supporters will be absolutely 100% behind this protest, just like the bond scheme back in the day, right? Yeah. Where they wanted to, where the previous ownership, but two, wanted to sell every seat in the ground under a bond. So therefore, the likes of me couldn't actually go because I couldn't afford a bond, right? And their attitude was, oh, well, if a kid wants to go to football, they can wait for their dad to die, so they pass the bond down to them. That was the attitude. This club, this ain't the first set of wankers we've had running this club. We've always had wankers.
We've always been cursed with shitty owners, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, what I'm going to do now is we're going to do a Premier League predictor, right? Now, there is going to be rules to this Premier League predictor, because the fact of the matter is we are currently in 7th. If we continue winning, we will stay in 7th.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that we're going to win the next 4 games. So that is my prediction, okay? So we're going to base it on what could happen if West Ham don't beat Newcastle, Tottenham, Wolves, and Fulham, right? So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to do the next 4 games.
Can I just say, there's people talking about there's people talking about putting the stadium in Romford. Well, I'm in Romford. I'm all in favour of having the stadium right next to me in Romford. I'd be very happy with that, right? I know it's out of East London, but apparently it's officially East London now. So it's Barking, places like that. So, hey.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous, Gary. So you would be happy to move it out of East London to
Romford?
No,
of course I wouldn't. I don't want it to fucking move at all. I don't want it to move at all. That's what I'm saying.
If you're going to move it to Romford, you might as well move it to Raynham.
No, don't be so stupid.
No,
because that's not right. Because that's not on your doorstep. You're saying you'd be happy to move it.
No, I wouldn't be happy to move. I wouldn't be happy to move. But what we're saying is, what is it? 3 miles to the stadium from here?
No,
4 miles.
I don't think we can't be tolerating that again.
Oh no! I'm just saying that's the only that's the only. I would push back against any move completely. Right. But that just puts the fear of fucking bejesus in me that we would be shoved out there in the marshland of Essex.
Right. So this is what we're going to do at the moment. We know we're 7th in the league. All right. So this is what I predicted last time. So the rule is on this one is that we're going to predict West Ham losses to see what can happen if we do lose these games, because they are losable. This is the thing with the way that we've been playing.
Why are we predicting all losses? That's a silly thing to do. Why is that?
No, Nicky's predicting losses.
No. Look, because like I just said, if we win, Gary, then we stay where we are. So there's no point even doing a prediction.
What? But why are we going with your prediction rather than me and Mickey's prediction? Why have we not got an agreed prediction between the 3 of us?
So what do you think is going to happen against Newcastle then?
Newcastle,
what's the point in doing it? Exactly, yeah. So, exactly. Right, so, Mickey, Bournemouth versus Everton. What's your score?
Bournemouth. They're Everton.
You're going to have to rattle these off quick. So, go on.
I can't think of the thing. So, Bournemouth to win.
Just give me a score.
Fuck knows, 2-1.
Right, Gary, Chelsea versus
Burnley. 3-0. 3-0.
Right, Nottingham Forest versus Palace. I'm going to go for a Palace win because Forest are not very good. Even though they beat us. You're going to go Fulham 3-0.
Yeah.
Tottenham
Gary,
4-0.
Tottenham. Okay. Aston Villa versus Wolves. I fancy a draw in that one. Villa actually look quite shit to me. The other day.
Well, they've got a few injuries.
So many injuries.
And it's a local derby, effectively. They don't like each other, so yeah. Do
you want a draw, or do you fancy a Wolves away win? What do you reckon?
No, I'd probably go for a Villa home win if I was predicting.
We'll go on in, predict.
2-1.
Okay. Right. Brentford versus Man U, 1-2. Yeah. Micky, Liverpool, Brighton.
3-2, Liverpool.
And Manchester City, I've got to beat Arsenal.
I'm going to go 2-0.
5-0.
5-0, yeah. 2 own goals by Rice.
Right, calculate that. We won't look at the table yet.
Yeah.
I suppose we can do. So what does that do? Let's have a look. So that keeps us in 7th.
Fucking hell. That put Arsenal down to 3rd.
Huh? Yeah.
That puts Arsenal down to 3rd.
Right, so let's go to match day 31. So Nottingham Forest, I'll start with this one. 1-3 to Fulham. Oh, shit. Fulham have got a really good run coming up. Oh, my God, what is going on?
13. Oh, God's sake.
I didn't mean that.
Sort it out.
Fucking Forest are having it.
It's fucking freezing up. What's going on? It's turned into Gary's computer. Hang on, let's just let it settle.
You know what it is? I think that you convinced. Well, you didn't convince me, but I bought a Mac, and I haven't actually rebooted it for about a month.
And it's a bit of fun.
I probably need to reboot it.
Yeah, you do. You have to reboot them every now and then. Right, so Micky, Newcastle, Everton, go.
2-0.
Huh?
2-0.
Oh, Bournemouth Palace.
Bournemouth Palace, Gary.
Tough one. I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Right, Burnley versus Wolves. I've got to go for Wolves winning that one. Burnley are their pony. I'll just go 2. West Ham. I'm not having that we're going to fucking beat Spurs or against them.
2-1 Spurs.
I'm not Gary. I'm not having this.
Well, my prediction on my sheet is a home loss.
Yeah, it's my prediction, so I'll go 2-1 Spurs.
All right, we'll go 2-1 Spurs.
It won't be a thumping.
Arsenal versus Luton.
6-0.
6-0, probably.
Yeah,
probably will be. Right, Brentford versus, that's going to be a Brighton win. I'll go 2-3.
Definitely. City Villa, 4-0.
Micky, easy one.
I don't think it is, to be fair to you. I reckon that'd be 2-2.
2-2?
Yeah, I do.
All right, be 3-3 because I can't bother to change it. Right, so Gary, Liverpool, Sheffield United. Fucking hell.
5-0. What's happened?
I don't know. This website was playing up earlier on. It's the actual website and not anything else. So you get loads of pop-ups on it. Chelsea, Man United. I actually fancy Chelsea in this one. I think Chelsea are finding form, and I think Man United are ropey. So I'm going to go for
2-1.
I'm going to go for 3-2. Right, so calculate that one.
That's interesting.
Spurs are garbage. We will beat them. Roger, have you seen us, mate?
Spurs are not garbage. They're 1 week they can be brilliant. The next week they can be a bit average. They're not garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then 1 week we could be garbage, the next week we could be average.
By the way, that drops us down to 12th. That drops us down to 12th. So after match day 2, we drop down to 12th, right? That's with 2 losses. So
And then it's and then we're away to Leverkusen, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
After
So
that game?
right, let's start with Gary. Gary, Palace City. Palace City.
No, 0-4.
Right. Mickey, Villa, Brentford.
9:15 kick-off for Spurs, is it?
Don't know.
Anyway, Villa.
Concentrate, Mickey.
Villa, Brentford.
Sort it out.
All right, then I'll go for 3-1 Villa.
Everton will beat Burnley 2-0.
Fulham will beat Newcastle 2-1.
Fulham will beat Newcastle
2-1.
Yeah, Luton are going to get beat 3-0.
Spanked.
Bournemouth. Wolves. I had this down as a draw. Best way away to Wolves. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
You know what? I had? I'm looking back at my records now. You know what I actually
Who is
had?
it, me?
No. I had this one down as I think I had Spurs as a draw and I had this as a defeat. I'm sure I did.
Is this me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go for 3-1 win.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We ain't beating them 3-1 away from home.
I believe we do. That's my prediction. I think that we beat Wolves.
You got no chance. I'm doing a draw.
Mickey predicted
no, you can't do that.
Beat everyone.
Mate.
We're
not going to beat them.
No, you had the Newcastle one, and I didn't agree with that. So I'm going to say the 3-1.
Because you've got us down beating. Thing is, Mickey, if we win all of the games in this prediction, then we just sit where we are. The idea of this is to see where we are if we don't win them.
Well, then why asking? Because you might as well put down as a loss. But I genuinely believe we beat Wolves away. That's what I believe.
All right, 5-1. There you go.
I had.
I did 3-1, you dick.
I had Newcastle. So you put us down as a win on there because I had Spurs down as a draw, not as a loss.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So Brighton and Hove Albion and Arsenal. Gary.
0-5.
No, you reckon?
3.
Hang on. 0-3.
You can't hear me chewing this gum, can you? So don't drive.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I thought you were going to blow
so Man United 1. Hang on. Sheffield United. Mickey, what do you reckon? Sheffield United can win 4-0. What do you reckon?
Fuck me. You're bitter about that. What's their winning, Char?
Well, the idea of doing this was to see what happened if we fucking lost them.
So then,
not all of them.
Then let's not predict the West Ham results in, but I genuinely believe we beat Wolves. But Sheffield United, I'll say 3-0 to Chelsea.
3-0.
I think we should put in what we realistically think will happen.
Oh, shit.
Spurs 6, Forest 0 in a minute.
Hang on 1 minute. If it ever goes back.
You fucked that right up, haven't you?
I have. Right. Because Mickey's fucked this right up.
Fuck off. Get over it.
What is the whole point of this was to see that. Right, go on. Right, so Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest.
4-0.
4-0.
Forest don't get any better.
Right, so hang on. Okay, right.
So where does that win take us? 9th.
9th. There we go.
It's looking better.
Right.
We're moving up, lads.
We're moving up. Hang on. Right, so Gary, Newcastle, Tottenham.
2-3. 2-3.
So, mate, what is wrong with this fucking website? Right, Brentford. Oh, that's just a shit game. 2-0.
Yeah, easy cakewalk.
Easy for them.
3-0.
Do 3-0.
0-3.
Yeah. Fuck me.
6-0.
He's gonna love this.
Forest Wolves 0-2.
Well, you ain't getting this one, Mick. Fucking hell.
0-2.
Fucking hell.
0-2.
Loss.
Right. So, mate, they They battered us 5-0. They just beat Spurs 4-1, and you think we're going to beat Fulham?
Well, let's see on my predictions, shall we?
Fucking hell. Nottingham Forest. I think Wolves will win that.
Yeah.
Well, someone's a Wolves fan.
See, I think I'd go for.
No one cares what you think, Mick. Gary, go on.
Do the opposite. I think
See,
we beat them 5-0.
I'd go for a home win here. I'll go for a home win here, 2-0.
No, Gary, you can't do that.
You can't do. What's the point in doing that if you're doing it now?
I don't understand this. To be
well,
fair,
listen, right?
Okay,
I don't know what you're trying. I don't know what you're trying to achieve.
I explained before we did this. I said, if we win these games, we kind of stay where we are. So there's no point doing a Premier League prediction about the fucking table.
No, you're getting my point wrong, right? I'm going on my prediction spreadsheet where it would have been a draw against Spurs. I don't care about
your prediction spreadsheet.
It would have been a loss against Wolves, and it would have been a win against
your prediction spreadsheet.
All right, all right, to balance it out, because you put a win away to Wolves, I don't think will happen. Put a loss at home to Fulham.
You're fucking useless. You're both shit. Right, come on.
So why give us the option?
Pull your spreadsheet up. I want to shit all over it, Gal. Come on.
Only you fucking know what you're asking us to do here. We don't understand it, do we, Micky?
Oh my God. Right, okay.
Look, listen. Why give us the option then? Why don't you just put a loss on every West Ham game?
That's what I said. No, look, basically Mick, listen. I said before we did this, I said if we predict a win, then we stay where we are. So I said in the next 4 games, if we don't win, this is where we could end up.
Oh, so we're only predicting 4 games?
4 games.
Oh, right. Well, then you're going to have to put us down to not win the 4 games then. Why don't you make these rules clear up front?
I did say it. You fuckers don't listen.
Neither me nor Micky, part of the Claret Booze Union, actually heard you say that.
You fucking arseholes. Right, hang on. Right, Gary, Arsenal versus Villa.
Arsenal versus Villa, 3-0.
Yeah. 3-0.
Gary's loving Arsenal.
He is closet Arsenal fan.
I think that's
Micky, Liverpool Palace. You got Palace down for a 4-0 win?
Yeah. Why would I do that? I'm not a Palace fan. Right, Liverpool, I'll go 4-1.
Nick's buffering.
Fucking hell. Doing my brain in. Right. Bournemouth versus Man United. Do you know what Bournemouth done them last year? I don't rate Man United. I think they're gonna have a bad end to the season.
They're surely not going to lose that.
I'd say we'll go on an average. Micky, what would you say with that Bournemouth Man U?
Oh, all right then. I think 1-0 Man United.
Gary, what do you reckon?
In the world, I'd go 0-1.
So you think Man U, yeah? Okay.
We are aligned. Me and Micky are aligned.
Chelsea 3.
Everton 0.
I'm never doing this fucking shitty prediction thing again. Right, hang on.
It's your fucking shitty prediction. Gary, we are not allowed to do draws.
We're not allowed to do wins.
Right. Well, we've got a win in there.
Yeah, I know we have. That's
because fucking Micky.
Well, it's realistic. It's realistic that we'd have a win.
Well, there you go. Well, then after 4 games, we're still 9th.
Yeah.
With a game.
So 1 win keeps it respectable. In fact, 2 wins out of the 4 would keep us in 7th.
Yeah.
But then we play Man City, Liverpool, Luton, and who's the other one?
What's that?
We play Man City, Liverpool, Luton, and who else?
I don't know. No, there's only one. Which one is there? There's only Luton are the only easy game left, aren't they?
Look, people are loving this.
I said maybe do this offline and show us the results.
Fuck off.
I was said. Yeah, then we can understand the rules. Innit?
You lot just don't fucking listen. That's your problem.
You don't explain yourself properly. You got to clearly articulate the rules.
Have you ever thought about me and Gary was on the same wavelength?
No, because you was no. You was on the same wavelength because you hadn't listened. You just thought we was doing a straight predictions.
Well, no, I just think he's how you
So the same wavelength that you're on is not listening like a pair of fucking dickheads wavelength.
I think someone needs to look in the mirror.
Yeah. So it's only for 4 games then, Nick, yeah?
Only doing for 4, yeah. I ain't doing no fucking more. That's it. Right. So look, if we were to
tomorrow night,
if we were to draw against Wolves, for instance,
yeah.
Hang on.
Well, my predictions are right: loss against Newcastle, draw against Spurs, loss against Wolves.
So
win
a
draw
drops us to 12. Splitting the Claret and Booze fan base. But yeah, so it is fine margins. But then again, I suppose look, if that does happen, it's kind of you're only 3 points off 9th or fucking because where European places this year could go down to 7. No, I think it's not 8th now; it's 7th, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got us down to finish on 51 points, which is about 10th or 11th, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll do any better than that. In fact, once we get past these 4 games,
I feel stressed out now.
You know, we could in theory get battered by it. We could get beaten quite badly by Newcastle, Tottenham, Wolves, and Fulham. We could actually lose all of those. That's the one that we didn't mention was Crystal Palace, right? Because we got Crystal Palace away, tough game. We got Liverpool at home. We got Chelsea away. That's a loss. We got Luton at home. We got City away. That last 5 games, especially the last 4 games, we've got to play Liverpool, Chelsea, and City out of the last 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, the next 5 are critically important for getting points, and I've only got us getting 1 win and 2 draws out of the next 5.
Yes. No. Well. I mean, the thing is, with Moyes, you can never call it. You know, we could quite feasibly turn up away at Newcastle. We could get a win when we come back. Could happen.
Yeah, but the downside, the reason I'm a bit nervous about that is because we're missing Alvarez, right? We're missing Alvarez away to Newcastle. So I think we'll get thumped by Newcastle, and then at home to Spurs, not having Alvarez to protect the defenders. I mean, fuck me. You know, you can have Zuma and Dinos exposed by the pace of that doesn't bear thinking about. You know, there was a rumor today that he's given up on Calvin Phillips and he's experimenting with Danny Ings, playing in holding midfield role.
Yeah,
right? Which is weird. But then again, Danny Ings, you know, he's going to run around and do a lot of work. He's not very big physically, but he can pass the ball. I mean, I don't know what he'd be like back there. I'm only guessing. You know, that's only what whether people are just making stuff up to produce news. They might be. But
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, nothing would surprise me at this stage. I do think that I think Phillips has got to be. I know you said bring Phillips back in to play against Newcastle. I just think that's probably the game that I think we've got to get off to. We've got to get off to a flyer when we come back from the international break. I think we have to. It's all about momentum, isn't it? And I think that Newcastle game is winnable because Newcastle are rocky. So you shouldn't really be treating them with too much.
But you're not. You're underestimating. You're making that mistake of underestimating how important Haller is because. I'm reading an article about Haller, about how important Alvarez is to the solidity of our defensive unit. Right, without him, we tend to get spanked. The last game I watched without him was Fulham away. We got murdered.
Yeah.
But Cresswell played as well. Emerson was out, but then again, you know, I think Alvarez is the more important component, to be honest.
Yeah, the Danny Ings as a CDM thing was a piss take, Gal.
Yeah.
That won't be happening. That's all that was. That went viral. That was somebody posted that on a spoof account on Twitter, and it got picked up and circulated. That's all. But look, anyway, that is it from us. I'm stressed out now. I've got to go and have a fucking chamomile tea or something.
Essex and was it Sussex and Kent tea bags?
Yeah, get your tea bags. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at the news. See if anything come in. Hang on a minute.
Go on then.
Sky Sports reporter shares big David Moyes exit news. I suspect this is nothing. Oh no, it says in good position to get job if he leaves West Ham. Like fuck, no one's going to want him apart from a relegation candidate.
We heard this the other day, right? We heard this the other day, and that was with Darren Bent, and they was doing it again. So they were again saying how David Moyes, he should just stay at West Ham because he ain't going to be able to get another job. This is how they're saying it, right? It should just stay at West Ham. And they were saying, well, if he wins the Europa League, right, and he gets in Europe, and he walks away then, surely he can go and get a big job. So they went through all of them. Newcastle, if Eddie Howe goes, no. Aston Villa, if Emery goes, no. Why have we got to have him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, and they're linking us as well with.
Why have we got to have him? I don't understand it.
I know.
If he ain't good enough for anyone else, why have we got to have the fucker? I don't understand it.
Well, because we're little old West Ham, right? We're little old West Ham, and that's the way it is. That's the way it'll always be. Unfortunately, until we're not anymore. West Ham United, Mohamed Kudus injury news emerges.
Yeah, I just see that someone's injured. But
Kudus set to miss Ghana's upcoming. Oh no, he's pulled out the international. So is Antonio, by the way. So that's good.
Yeah,
so that ain't a real knee injury, is it?
Listen, let's be honest. This is my local Morrison's is hiring. Would you really want to go to your local shop and find more packing your bags for you? Real.
Take forever to get through.
Yeah, it would.
Thanks, Kate. I can't.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Kate Fagor.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, pew.
Yeah. Look. I think that's the one that I would pick to win out of all of them. You know, with the run that we've got coming up, it will be Tottenham. Is the one. Tottenham at home is the one that you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
But I'm just incredibly worried about them, and I think David Moyes is worried about them. I think he'll set up to defend like he did last time in the first half. And last time we played them, they didn't have any fucking. They had a lot of players out, Gary, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They did. There was no Son. There was no.
They had 10 injuries. They had 10 injuries. No Son. We had a full strength side. We didn't get injuries. Don't forget until like December or January, whenever it was. And so we had a full strength team the whole way through. The only reason Alvarez didn't play in a couple of games was because of bookings. And he got a little injury early on, didn't he? But no, it's just I'm not underestimating the impact of Alvarez. I think we're going to get thumped twice.
Yeah. Without Alvarez.
Yeah.
It is a big miss. It is a big miss.
Unfortunately, without Alvarez, he definitely reverts back to that defensive style.
I think he does. I think he does it. I think he does it anyway. But I think without Alvarez, it just really doesn't work.
Doesn't it just blow your mind though to think that the attacking football we're so much better even defensively with it? How can he? He does see it. It just blows my mind. I know I say it near enough every week. I just can't get my head around why he reverts back all the time. He's fucking mental.
Because I think what Gary was saying in one of the previous shows is true. I think he's desperate for his style to work. I think he knows what he needs to do to get himself out of trouble, but he's desperate to show that his way is the right way, Gary, isn't he?
I think that's true. I think that's true. But I think that's true. But I think on Saturday he genuinely just bottled it.
So do I. But I get what you're saying, Nick. But that really, that only, he's been doing this now for near on 2 years. So when does he realise? Well, hold on, it's not really working.
He's been doing it his entire career, Mick. He's been playing this way his entire career. He's never changed.
He's mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
Yeah,
I know.
Also, the Spurs game that is on the weekend leading up to the away leg against Leverkusen. So he might even rest a couple of players against Spurs, like defenders. I mean Zuma.
Yeah, possibly.
You ain't seeing the Gary picture, Brian. No, go away.
I'm bringing the Gary picture up now after what you just did to my fucking thing.
Pop Gary's picture up, Barry. Barry says. Fuck's sake.
No, we'll leave it alone. No more Sven Gary Eriksson.
What a prick.
All right. Well, look, that is that's that. Thank you very much for joining us midweek. I think we did all right there. Had a bit of a meltdown. Got nothing to fucking talk about. We still have a fucking row.
No, that's you. Well, I thought it was quite funny, to be fair to you. Me and Gary agree. You go, no, I fucking do that.
I think you lack professionalism, Nick. I think you lack professionalism. You should have explained the rules before, the terms of engagement, before we actually, before we.
Terms of engagement. We're going to do a Premier League predictor, based on the next 4 games.
Gary,
if
why are you
West
starting
Ham,
him off?
If West Ham don't win them, that's why we're doing it.
Why didn't you say that in the first place?
That's
Why didn't
literally
you? Why
what
didn't you
back.
fill out?
Strikers don't listen.
Why didn't you fill out?
As you said that, we would have done exactly that.
Chris is going up. Chris Abel in the chat. He's going up to Newcastle. So I think he's had quite a good lucky run on the road, apart from Liverpool in the League Cup.
I think Newcastle is the one. I do think that we could potentially cause a surprise. I do, because Newcastle they're not on it.
I know they're not great.
They're
they're not great, and they're not on it. But we're without fucking Alvarez.
I know,
the worst person to be without. You know, but we do still have the attacking talent in there. So I guess anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
That's my
possibly. Right. Anyway, look, let's keep this at an hour. Anyway, hour and 10 minutes. We've done a short show.
Yeah.
There you go.
What were the rules again, Nick, about that prediction?
I'll get fucked. Right, hang on.
I wish you would have told us.
Right, hang on. I'm actually really fucking annoyed.
I know you are. Well, I've got a support group you can join if you want.
Yeah, go on, fuck off. Right. That's right. I'm not even playing outro music now. You can all fuck off.
You pissed off.